أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. In the dua that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam says, ربي هب لي حكما وألحقني بالصالحين واجعلني من ورثة جنة النعيم واغفر لأبي. Then he continues to say, يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. On the day where money, property, children cannot help a person. The only thing that will help a person is coming to Allah with a heart that was described by Nabi Ibrahim as Salim. Here Salim means bari, empty from any love to those who hated Ahlul Bayt and fought Ahlul Bayt and oppressed Ahlul Bayt, and full of love to Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. That's a heart that you can come to Allah with, knowing that you love Ahlul Bayt and you have purified your heart from any tendency for love to the people who oppressed Ahlul Bayt. Tonight we are celebrating the wedding of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam from Sayyida Fatima al-Zahra sallallahu alayhi wa. And we are going to start tonight with chanting of Manaqib recited by Brother Salim Akbar. So please.
برائے خوشنودی امام زمانہ بلند تر صلوات. بارے دیگر بآواز بلند صلوات.
یہی ہارڈ ہوتا ہے. ایک بار صلوات بھیجیے اب حضرت مل کر. آج کا یہ جشن آپ تمامی حضرات کو بہت بہت مبارک ہو. میں جو کلام پیش کرنے جا رہا ہوں اس کی خاصیت یہ ہے کہ اس کے قافیے سارے انگلش میں ہیں. مجھے امید ہے کہ آپ حضرات کو پسند آئے گا. کہ ہر ایک زباں پا ذکر میری اینٹری کا ہے, ہر ایک زباں پا ذکر میری اینٹری کا ہے, اور شعروں کا میرے رنگ علی کوالٹی کا ہے. شعروں کا میرے رنگ علی کوالٹی کا ہے, اور ایسا نہ ہو کہ پھولوں کا ہو جائے ہارٹ فیل. ایسا نہ ہو کہ پھولوں کا ہو جائے ہارٹ فیل. یوں بیوٹیفل ہے دوستوں صحرا علی کا ہے. یوں بیوٹیفل اے دوستوں صحرا علی کا ہے. اور آئی تھی جس جگہ سے زمانے میں ذوالفقار, آئی تھی جس جگہ سے زمانے میں ذوالفقار, صحرا بھی مرتضیٰ کا اسی کمپنی کا ہے. آئی تھی جس جگہ سے زمانے میں ذوالفقار, صحرا بھی مرتضیٰ کا اسی کمپنی کا ہے. اور اصحاب مصطفیٰ ہیں ڈنر میں بزی مگر, اصحاب مصطفیٰ ہیں ڈنر میں بزی مگر, چہرہ اڑا اڑا ہوا 1 2 3 کا ہے. اصحاب مصطفیٰ ہیں ڈنر میں بزی مگر, چہرہ اڑا اڑا ہوا 1 2 3 کا ہے. اور ایک شخص اپنے چیلوں سے کہتا تھا کم ہیئر, ایک شخص اپنے چیلوں سے کہتا تھا کم ہیئر, لو لوٹو کھاؤ باغ فدق اب فری کا ہے. لو لوٹو کھاؤ باغ فدق اب فری کا ہے. اور تو ہرملا رلا نہیں سکتا صغیر کو, تو ہرملا رلا نہیں سکتا صغیر کو، یہ اسٹوڈنٹ صبر کی یونیورسٹی کا ہے، یہ اسٹوڈنٹ صبر کی یونیورسٹی کا ہے، اور یوں ورڈ فیم ہے تیرا کردار فاطمہ، یوں ورڈ فیم ہے تیرا کردار فاطمہ، چرچا ہر ایک زباں پر تیری فیملی کا ہے، چرچا ہر ایک زباں پر تیری فیملی کا ہے، اور وہ میرے مرتضیٰ سے بھلا کیسے لو کرے، وہ میرے مرتضیٰ سے بھلا کیسے لو کرے، جن کی رگوں میں خون غلط آدمی کا ہے، جن کی رگوں میں خون غلط آدمی کا ہے۔ تھوڑا بیس بڑھا دیں اس کا پلیز۔ جن کی رگوں میں خون غلط آدمی کا ہے، اور محشر میں دشمنان علی بولے کیا کریں، محشر میں دشمنان علی بولے کیا کریں، جنت کے در پر بورڈ تو نو انٹری کا ہے، جنت کے در پر بورڈ تو نو انٹری کا ہے۔ صلوات بھیج دیں آپ حضرات مل کر۔ کہ شاہ مردان شیر یزداں قوت پروردگار، لا فتح الا لیلا سیف الا ذوالفقار، لا فتح الا لیلا سیف الا ذوالفقار، وہ علی جس نے بچا لی دین پیغمبر کی لاج، وہ علی جس نے بچا لی دین پیغمبر کی لاج، جس کے سر کے واسطے ہے مرضی قدرت کا تاج، اور ملتا جلتا ہے بہت توحید سے جس کا مزاج، نام اس کا ساری دنیا فخر سے لیتی ہے آج، اور گونجتی ہے آج بھی جبریل جیسوں کی پکار، لا فتح الا علی لا سیف الا ذوالفقار، اور جو عروج دین پیغمبر کی حد ہے وہ علی، ہر عمل جس کا جہاد مستند ہے وہ علی، جو اکیلا کل رسولوں کی مدد ہے وہ علی، اور جس پر شیر کبریائی کی سند ہے وہ علی، اور ہے خدا کی اس عبارت پر اسی کا اختیار، لا فتح الا علی لا سیف الا ذوالفقار، اور جرأتوں کی مملکت کا شاہزادہ ہے علی، اور ہر بہادر سے شجاعت میں زیادہ ہے علی، اور جو کبھی بدلا نہیں ایسا ارادہ ہے علی، اور حشر تک توحید کی نصرت کا جادہ ہے علی، اور کیوں نہ ہاتھوں میں ہو اس کے تحفہ پروردگار، لا فتح الا علی لا سیف الا ذوالفقار۔ صلوات بھیج دیں آپ حضرات مل کر۔ اور وہ علی مشکل کشا ہے جو رسولوں کے لیے، جس نے اپنی جان دی کے اصولوں کے لیے، اور وقف تھا جس کا لہو ایمان کے پھولوں کے لیے، اور جو تھا منزل کا پتہ بچھڑوں کے بھولوں کے لیے، اور کہہ رہی ہے گلشن دین محمد کی بہار، لا فتح الا علی لا سیف الا ذوالفقار، اور کیا جواب حیدر کرار لائے گا کوئی، کیا جواب حیدر کرار لائے گا کوئی، اور ایسا ویسا کب علی کی صف میں آئے گا کوئی، اور آسماں سے تیغ کیا اپنی منگائے گا کوئی، اور عظمت شیر خدا کیسے گھٹائے گا کوئی، ارے اب بھی چسپا ہے دل تاریخ پر یہ اشتہار، لا فتح الا علی لا سیف الا ذوالفقار۔ صلوات بھیج دیجیے آپ حضرات۔ مولا علی کے شادی کے حوالے سے چند اشعار اور کہ علی کے ساتھ ہے زہرا کی شادی، علی کے ساتھ ہے زہرا کی شادی، سبھی خوش ہیں سبھی خوش ہیں، خدائی بھی خدا بھی علی کے ساتھ ہے زہرا کی شادی، علی کے ساتھ ہے زہرا کی شادی، اور لڑکا ہے خدا کے گھر کا، لڑکا ہے خدا کے گھر کا، لڑکی ہے نبی کے گھر کی، لڑکا ہے خدا کے گھر کا، لڑکی ہے نبی کے گھر کی، وہ ارض و سما کا مالک یہ ملکہ بحر و بر کی، یہ وہ ارض و سما کا مالک یہ ملکہ بحر و بر کی، زمین رقصاں زمین رقصاں ہے رقصاں، آسماں بھی علی کے ساتھ ہے زہرا کی شادی، اور بولا یہ خدا ہر جانب رحمت کی گھٹا برسے گی، بولا یہ خدا ہر جانب رحمت کی گھٹا برسے گی، جو بغض سے بنجر ہوگی بس وہی زمیں ترسے گی، اٹھو جبریل اٹھو جبریل کر دو یہ منادی، علی کے ساتھ ہے زہرا کی شادی، اور بارات چلی ہے در کی، بارات چلی ہے در کی، رحمت کے سائے سائے، بارات کے آگے آگے قرآن قصیدے گائے، نبی سارے نبی سارے چلے بن کر باراتی، علی کے ساتھ ہے زہرا کی شادی، ہر قدرت کی طرف سے ان کو، قدرت کی طرف سے ان کو ابھی تحفے اور ملیں گے، ابھی ان کے حسین آنگن میں وہ اصلی پھول کھلیں گے، حسین شجرے حسین شجرے جنہیں دیں گے سلامی، علی کے ساتھ ہے زہرا کی شادی، اور حیدر ہے کل ایمان اور کل عصمت، زہرا حیدر ہے کل ایمان اور کل عصمت، زہرا اس سر پہ حیا کا صحرا، اس سر پہ وفا کا صحرا، وہ شہزادہ وہ شہزادہ ہے اور یہ شاہزادی، علی کے ساتھ ہے زہرا کی شادی، और गेती ने बिछाया सब्जा, गेती ने बिछाया सब्जा, सूरज ने उजाले बाटे, खुद दस्ते खुदा ने शब के आंचल पे सितारे टाके, हुई रंगी हुई रंगी जो थी तस्वीर सादी, अली के साथ है ज़हरा की शादी। बहुत शुक्रिया।
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. In the explanation of the ayah that says بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان, all books, most of Sunni books also explain that by stating that Allah is the one who brought together the two oceans, and that was translated into Ali and Fatima. مرج البحرين يلتقيان means they meet. بينهما برزخ, between them there is something in common, and the translation was it is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is the father of Fatima and the brother of Imam Ali. You know, just in case we know he is a cousin, but also he is the brother of Imam Ali in here and hereafter. Ali akhi fi dunya wal akhirah. Tonight we celebrate again this wedding of the light from the light. When Imam Ali came to Rasulullah to ask for the hand of Fatima al-Zahra alayha salatu wasalam, the wahi comes down and say, Rasulullah, إن الله سبحانه وتعالى يريدك أن تزوج النور من النور. Allah wants you to marry, to join the two nur in marriage, and that is Ali wa Fatima. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. I ask now Maulana Tayyab Mosavi to share with us some of the manaqib of Ahlul Bayt.
नाराए हैदरी, हैदरी, मौलाए कायनात बुलंदतर सलावत।
औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहिल्लज़ी ला यब्लुगु मिदहतुहुल क़ाइलून वला युसीना माहुल आदून वला युअद्दी हक़्क़हुल मुज्तहिदून अल्लज़ी ला युद्रिकुहु बहदुल हिमम वला युनालुहु गौसुल फितन الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا وقت محدود ولا أجل ممدود فترى الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته ووتد بالسخر ميدان أرض ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيبنا وحبيب رب العالمين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعن على أعدائهم أجمعين من أول يوم ظلمهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المبين وقوله الحق: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأنكحوا الأيام منكم والصالحين من بعدكم وإمائكم إن يكونوا فقراء يغنيهم الله من فضله والله واسع عليم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. The first verse, salawat in honor of Amir al-Mu'mineen and Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen. The second verse, salawat in honor of Hassan and Hussein, the masters of the youths of paradise. And finally, the last verse, salawat, with the loudest of your voices in honor of Imam of our time, Imam Mosavi wa Zaman. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. One of the most recognized commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Islam, not just in the Quran, you can find many ayats in the Quran about it, you can find many hadiths, or you can find many narrations of the Holy Prophet about it, is what? Is about marriage. Today we commemorate the marriage that took place 1400 years ago between Amir al-Mu'mineen and Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. When we talk about marriage, this marriage is not just limited to the single men, the single brothers and sisters who are everywhere, the single Muslim brothers and sisters, but no, Islam says even if you're divorced, you should marry again to complete your faith. Even if you're divorced, even if you're a widowed or you're a widower, you should marry again to complete your faith. There is a high emphasis on marriage in Islam. A high emphasis. There is a reason for that. And tonight, inshallah, I will speak about the marriage between Amir al-Mu'mineen and Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen. But when it comes to this marriage that occurred 1400 years ago, today in this day and age, when you look at the West, there's a lot of complaints, there's a lot of questions that arise. The Westerners today, they ask, how old was Lady Zahra sallallahu when she was married? How old was she? Anyone know? 9 years old. 9 years old. They say the Holy Prophet, he married a 9-year-old. They say Amir al-Mu'mineen, he married a 9-year-old. Today I want to look at this and see how we can get this or how we can answer this question. A 9-year-old. Second, marriage. Why is marriage so important in Islam? Why has Islam emphasized marriage? 2. 3, what do a lot of the brothers and sisters today living in the West do when it comes to marriage? And what they do and how they treat marriage, is that, looking at it from an Islamic perspective, is that Islamic or no? Why? Because we say that we're Muslims. When we're Muslims, then it's necessary that we live our life the way Islam wants to live our life, not the way the culture that we live in. If the culture that we live in tells us to live a certain way and it's contradicting what Islam tells us, what do we choose? If you choose Islam, then you're living the life of a Muslim. If you choose your culture, then are you living the life of a Muslim? No. Why? Because now that culture is contradicting Islam. Then you're not truly a Muslim. A Muslim is who? Someone who submits. Someone who submits to what? The commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all of them. They don't pick and choose what commandments to submit to. No, they submit to every single commandment. And when it comes to marriage, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in this verse that I started this lecture off with, He says, marry the single people from amongst you. The single people from amongst you, the righteous slaves and the righteous slave girls. If you are poor, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make you rich through His blessings, through His favor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is bountiful, He is all-knowing. This is the verse of that. This is Quranic ayah. If I was to ask everyone in this room, do the youngsters that live in the West today, do they follow what this ayah says? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, marry the single people. When we look at the youngsters in the West, what do? They come up with a grand scheme in their head. What do I mean? They're allowed to get married. They have the ability to get married. But what do they say? They say, no, you know what? I want to complete my education. They finish their education. Then they say, you know what? Now I want a good job. They get a good job. Then they say, you know what? Now I need a good house. They get a good house. Then they say, you know what? Now I need a good car. Once this whole plan that they've come up with in their head, once that plan is complete, then they say, okay, now it's time for me to get married. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, what? Shaitan is always trying to deviate you from the right path. When you're making these big schemes in your head, Shaitan is always here trying to deviate you from the right path. What was supposed to be prevented in the beginning by getting married, now after this completion of this plan, this poor brother in faith, he's done all the sins that are possible for him to do. What marriage was supposed to prevent from this brother in faith, because he chose not to get married, he's committed those sins. He's committed those sins. Why? Why is this happening? Do you all know why? It's because the next verse. What happens in the next verse? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or they misinterpret the next verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? He says, and let those who cannot find someone to marry maintain chastity until Allah makes them rich through His favors. They take this verse, the Muslims that have these grand schemes, they take this verse of the Quran and they say, look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself, He's saying, if I don't have the means to get married, then I shouldn't get married. Misinterpret it. That's not what the verse is saying. What is the verse actually saying? The verse says, and let those who cannot find someone to marry. Let those who cannot find. In Islam, when it comes to marriage, what is the criteria? What is the most important criteria in marriage? Is it wealth? No. What is the most important criteria? Is it power? No. The most important criteria in marriage when it comes to Islam is that the couple need to be kufu. Meaning that the couple need to be their equal when it comes to faith. Islam doesn't care about, oh, you know what, this person is rich, this person is poor. No, Islam doesn't care about that. Islam doesn't care about, oh, this family is powerful, this family is not powerful. No, Islam doesn't care about that. All Islam cares about is this male, this female, are they equal when it comes to faith? Are they each other's equal? Why is this necessary? Why is this necessary? You look in families where the couple aren't equal in their faith, you'll have either a brother who's drinking, you'll have a sister who's not hijabi. If they were completely equal in their faith, what would they be doing? They'd encourage each other to be better Muslims. They'd encourage each other to be better mu'mins. But because when they're not equal, they end up doing what? They end up doing what the society asks of them to do. But when it comes to this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and let those who cannot find someone to marry maintain chastity until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes them rich through His favors. The verse does not say if you do not have the means to get married. Why would it say that? The verse before this verse says what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide for you. You marry, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide for you. If you interpret this verse as saying, no, you should wait until you're enriched, then there's a contradiction in these two verses. And we all know there is no contradiction in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. So when the verse is interpreted, it's not you don't wait because you don't have the means. You're waiting. Why? Because that kufu, that person who is your equal in religiosity, you have not met them yet. Until you meet them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says for you to wait in chastity. But is this what we do? Is this what the Muslims are doing today? No. They take this verse, misinterpret it, and they wait. They fall into sin on top of sin on top of sin. And this, Islam says, is what's wrong. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's commanding the believers to remain chaste. And when it comes to marriage, brothers and sisters, you have to remember that there's criteria for marriage. The first and foremost criteria is what? Age. But age not in the sense of a number. Age in the sense of whether or not this person is mature or not. When it comes to age, Islam says no, you're not just looking at physical maturity. You're also looking at mental maturity. You're also looking at mental maturity. Sayyid Khomeini rahmatullah alayhi, he describes this in his books. He says, look, when it comes to marriage, a male is considered to be, you don't just look at physical maturity, you look at mental maturity. Mental maturity for a male is, can this male is he able to provide for the family? Is he able to provide for the family? For a female, is this female able to take care of a house? Both of these, they require mental maturity, not just physical maturity. And when you look at studies that are being done today, you see that scientific studies, they say that people that live in hotter climates, they physically mature faster than people that live in colder climates. People that live in hotter climates, physically. So what does this mean? The people that live in most of the Middle Eastern countries are what type of countries? Hot or cold? They're hot. So scientifically, that means that what? The people that are growing up there are physically maturing faster than the people that are living in European countries, the people that are living in Canada, the people that are living in Americas. Scientifically. 1. 2, when people ask, how can you believe in a prophet who married a 9-year-old? When people ask, how can you believe an imam who married a 9-year-old? What is our reply to that? What is our reply to that? The first thing you should tell them, brothers and sisters, is ask them, is it all right to project the norms of today, of this society, to a society that lived 1400 years ago? Is it okay to project the norms of this society? If they say it's okay to do that, then the next thing you should ask them is, what is the age that a person could get married in the US? Do you all know? 16? No, it's not. It varies by state. It varies by state. For example, in Massachusetts, with the permission of the parents and from the courts, a person can get married at the age of 12. Today, in this society today, a person can get married at the age of 11. So legally, if a person could get married at the age of 12, get married at the age of 11, if someone wants to marry an 11 or 12-year-old today, 1400 years from today, does anyone have a right to say what this person did was wrong? Does anyone have a right to say? When you're living in the same society? No, you don't. Why? Because it was completely legal in this time period for this society. So now when the Holy Prophet Amir al-Mu'mineen lived in a totally different society with different norms, then how can we say that that was wrong? How can you say that that was wrong? You can't. This is why we need to know. If they tell us, they married at a young age, they married at a young age, there's no problem. If scientifically, if you look at it from a Shari, if you look at it just from a Shia perspective, you pick up any books of hadith, they all say that the Imam Ali Center, physically they grew faster than the rest of the people. Physically they grew faster than the rest of the people. From a Shia perspective. From a scientific perspective, it's known that in people in hotter climates, they grow faster. They mature faster. So from a Shia perspective, there's nothing wrong. From a scientific perspective, there's nothing wrong. From a cultural perspective, there's nothing wrong. So then why is there a problem? Why is there a problem? You have to realize that there's something going on against Islam. They're trying to defame the Holy Prophet. They're trying to defame the Ahlul Bayt. Why? Because Shia Islam is the only Islam that has not been what? That has not bowed its head to anyone. What do I mean? Whenever a question arose within Islam, it was Shia Islam that answered. It was Shia Islam. You look at the way Islam, and specifically Shia Islam, tells you to live your life. Brothers and sisters, 1400 years ago it was told. Today, scientists are saying the same thing. Scientists are saying the same thing. When you look at how a married life should be, how should you live a married life? What you see on TV? No. Islamically, you live your married life the way Amir al-Mu'mineen and Lady Zahra salawatullahi anha lived their life. You live your life the way these two couples lived their life. How did they live their life? Today, you have brothers that don't even want to take care of the children. Today, in some Islamic countries, in some societies, it's looked down upon if the man, he helps around the house. Why is that? Amir al-Mu'mineen, he used to knead bread for Lady Zahra salawatullahi alayha. Why is that? When it was required, Lady Zahra salawatullahi alayha, she used to go and fetch water. Today, in some Islamic countries, the woman is not to go out of the house no matter what. This isn't what Amir al-Mu'mineen taught us. This isn't what the Holy Prophet taught us. This is what culture teaches us. And you have to remember, if culture is contradicting Islam, you take Islam over culture. You take Islam over culture. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. When it comes to marriage, it's possible that someone who's 15, 16, 17, not only are they physically mature, but they're also mentally mature enough to get married and have a marriage life. And it's also possible that someone that is 27, 28, 29, they're physically mature, but mentally they're not mature enough to take care of a family. It's also possible. So that person that's 27, 28, 29, they shouldn't get married. But that person that's 16, 17, 18, who are able to take on the responsibilities of a family life, why should we deprive them of that life? Why should they be deprived of that life? This is why when you see, for example, in Pakistan, a lot of us are from Pakistan, the girls, they get married at a young age. At a young age. Why is that? Why is that? Because they're able to take care of the house. They're able to take care of the responsibilities of a wife, the responsibilities of a mother. They're able to. But there's also another part of these types of marriages that happened. When it comes to marriage, brothers and sisters, in Islam itself today, there's a cultural trend that's going on, and that's forced marriage. That's forced marriage. Forced marriage in Islam, they're illegal. They have no meaning to them. A second trend that's going on in Islam, especially within the Shia community, as soon as there's a proposal, they go to the resident alim and they do istikhara. They do istikhara. If the istikhara comes out good, it doesn't matter if this person is the biggest sinner in the world. If the istikhara comes out good, okay, you know what? The istikhara came out good. If the istikhara comes out bad, they don't look to see if this person's character is good. Even if this person was completely pious, the istikhara came out bad. They can't get married. No. The istikhara is the last resort. It's not the first resort. When you've taken or when you've asked everyone else around, what do you think about this person? After that, you cannot come to a conclusion. Then you go to the istikhara. And that too, when? After every single avenue has been exhausted. Not the first thing, the last thing. But today, it's the first thing that we do. It's the first thing that we do. And this is why a lot of marriages, they're deteriorating. Why? This is what's happening. The couple do not even meet each other. They don't even know what each other wants out of a marriage, out of life. And they've been forced to live with each other. How do you expect that to work? No, it's very difficult for that to work. In Islam, looking at a non-mahram is what? Haram. It's haram. But when it comes to marriage, they're not mahram yet. Islam says it's jaiz for you to look. It's jaiz for you to look, but not with lust. It's given the people this much right, yet parents want to take away this right from them. On the Day of Judgment, they'll be held accountable for that. They'll be held accountable. 2, today is the marriage of Lady Zahra salawatullahi alayha and Amir al-Mu'mineen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. When Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, he came to the Holy Prophet for Lady Zahra's hand, do you all know what the Holy Prophet did? He said, Ya Ali, wait, let me go ask Lady Zahra what she thinks. Let me go ask Lady Zahra. Did the Holy Prophet not know who Amir al-Mu'mineen was? Did the Holy Prophet not know the merits of Amir al-Mu'mineen? He did. This forced marriage that's happening in Islam, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter how pious this person is. If they come to ask for the daughter's hand in marriage, the sunnah of the Holy Prophet is to go ask the daughter. The sunnah of the Holy Prophet. Not just to say yes on her behalf and send her home, send her away. That's the sunnah. If we all follow this sunnah of the Holy Prophet, maybe families would thrive. From the beginning, if we were all to follow. What's the problem? Because they're elders, because they're parents, we don't want to say anything. But it's the parents' responsibility to know what's best and what the rights of the child are. It's the parents' responsibility to know. It's the child's responsibility to obey the parent. That's absolutely true. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to obey with the worship of God. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? That you obey your parents and you do not even say uff to them. That's absolutely true. But does that mean that the parents take advantage of that and do what they feel? No. No. And when you look at Lady Zahra Salawatullah's marriage, what does the Quran say about a husband and wife? The Quran says that they are your clothes and you are their clothes. What is the job of clothes? What do clothes do? First and foremost, therefore, covering. Covering what? Covering whatever. If you have a deformity, if you have an ailment, whatever you have, their job is to cover it up. This is exactly what a husband is supposed to do for a wife if there is a deficiency in her. Cover it. Not just physical deficiency, a spiritual deficiency. A spiritual deficiency. What's the second thing that clothes do? We're talking about Lady Zahra Salawatullah Amir al-Mu'mineen's marriage. So there could be no deficiency in both of them. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that they are your clothes and you are their clothes, this verse also applies to both of them. So when it applies to both of them also, what is the second job or what is another job of clothes? Decoration, to beautify you. Just think about what this ayat is saying for Amir al-Mu'mineen Lady Zahra salawatullah. Zahra, what does it mean? How did Lady Zahra get this name? Do you all know? Some narrations state that when she was born, when she came down to this earth, all of Medina, it was covered in light. It was covered in light. 2, narration from Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, he says that she has that name of Zahra, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. She has that name of Zahra, she has that title of Zahra because when she used to stand up for Salatul Layl, her light used to beautify the heavens, the way these stars beautify this earth. What does this verse say about Amir al-Mu'mineen, who is the cover for that light that beautifies all of heaven? How beautiful was Amir al-Mu'mineen's character for him to be the beauty of Lady Zahra salawatullah alaiha. How beautiful was the character of Lady Zahra salawatullah alaiha for her to be the cover of Amir al-Mu'mineen, for her to beautify Amir al-Mu'mineen. Spiritually, not physically, spiritually. You look at their character, it was completely similar. He was born where? In the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She was born where? In the house of prophethood. He was what? He was the son of the one who protected the Holy Prophet. She was the daughter of the one who brought Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message. So when you have these comparisons between them, who are all these other people that are asking for her hand in marriage? You look at the narrations, the first he comes, he goes, Ya Rasulullah, I want to ask her hand in marriage. He goes, no, I'm waiting for the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second comes, Holy Prophet goes, no, I'm waiting for the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third comes, he goes, no, I'm waiting for the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam says what? They have to be your kuf. The only person that was the kuf of Lady Zahra sallallahu alaiha was Amir al-Mu'mineen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. She never worshipped an idol her whole life. So she would only marry someone who never worshipped an idol his whole life. Was there anyone amongst the companions who did that? No, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years they worshipped idols. And now they want to come and ask for who? The one who was a monotheist for all her life for marriage? No, it doesn't work like that. You're not her kuf. You're not her equal. You're not her equal. There's a difference between all of you. And when you look at the way they live their life, like I said, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he used to help out around the house. Today, the men, unfortunately, they don't look at Amir al-Mu'mineen, they look at what society says. No, this isn't manly. Was there a bigger man than Amir al-Mu'mineen in the history of mankind? Tell me. Looking after the kids is not manly. No, that's a woman's job. No, that's not a woman's job. Was there anyone that's more manly than Amir al-Mu'mineen? He used to do all of this. He used to do all of this. But at the same time, on the other side, Lady Zahra sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she used to take the permission of Amir al-Mu'mineen when she needed to get out of the house. Lady Zahra sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when she went out in hijab. Lady Zahra sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when she looked after the kids, she looked after them how? She looked after them with so much love, so much care, that Amir al-Mu'mineen, he himself was surprised. Not because they were just her kids. If you look at what the narrations say about how she treated Imam Hussein alayhi salam, how much love she had for Imam Hussein. No, not that she didn't have love for Imam Hussein, yes. But all of the Ahl al-Bayt, they had more love for Imam Hussein. Why? Because they all knew the mission of Imam Hussein. They all knew the mission of Imam Hussein. If you just look at the narrations when Imam Hussein alayhi salam was born, what does it say? When Jibreel, he comes down and he tells the Holy Prophet everything that will happen to Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein later, 5 years old, everything's retold to him. Imam Hussein, he asks everyone, what will you give for those people that cry over me? What will you give for those people that lament over me? What does Lady Zahra say? Oh my son, shifa will be for them. Oh my son, I will not enter heaven until they all enter heaven. The Lady of Light will not enter heaven until the mourners of her son enter heaven. This was Lady Zahra. This was the type of marriage they had. All of us that are married, we need to look at our life and see whether or not our marriage is like this. If it's not, what can we do to make it like this? If it is, what can we do to make it a bit more better? Because no marriage is like Amir al-Mu'mineen Lady Zahra has. So it becomes necessary for us to work on ourselves to make our marriage the way that marriage was. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in the Quran, Surah Al-Rum, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in the Quran, and one of His signs is that He has created for you spouses from amongst yourselves so that you might take comfort in them. You might take comfort in them. And He has placed between you love and mercy. In the English translated versions, do you know what word has been translated to love? Mawaddat. Mawaddat. Mawaddat also appears in another verse of the Quran. La asalukum alayhi ajran illal Mawaddat fil qurba. Do you know what mawaddat actually means? Mawaddat means you love something in the sense that you love oxygen. The way you need oxygen to live, that's what mawaddat means. When it comes to the Ahlul Bayt, that verse isn't saying you love them. No, that verse is saying that you need them the same way that you need oxygen. You need them the same way that you need oxygen. The way this body loves oxygen, that's the way you love the Ahlul Bayt. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this in the verse, that He has placed this type of love between a husband and wife. Yet we don't look at this. When someone makes a mistake, divorce is on the table. Forgiveness does not exist anymore. This is the problem that's creeping into Islam, especially in the West. We live in a society where over the simplest arguments a divorce happens. Over the simplest arguments. You look at this society, millionaires, movie stars, they have money, they have power, they have fame. But when they get married, their marriage doesn't last. What are they missing? If fame brings you happiness in a marriage, then why aren't they happy? If money brings happiness in a marriage, then why aren't they happy? If power brings happiness in a marriage, then why aren't they happy? Why aren't they happy? What is really required for a marriage to work is not money, is not fame, is not power. No, what's really required for a marriage to work is what? Is that you two are your equals when it comes to everything. You look at yourselves equally, not one beneath the other. Not, I make the money, everything I say goes. No. When you look at each other as your equal, then this marriage can work. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says what? He says in the Quran, and be honest in your promises. Be honest in your promises. The Holy Prophet, he himself, he says something when it comes to marriage. There's one thing the Holy Prophet says. This is pertaining to the man. Man zalama imra'atu makhraha fahuwa indallah zan. Whoever, the man who oppresses his wife in relation to her mahar, is considered in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala an zan, adulterer. Adulterer. In some societies, this mahar, it's wajib on the man. It's the right of the female, it's the right of the wife. But some people, they don't want to give it. They don't want to give it. After divorce, they don't want to give it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those men that do that, in my eyes, they're considered to be adulterers. You've just lived your whole life as an adulterer. On the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, "O my servant, I married you to my bondservant." The Holy Prophet's narration, he says, "O my servant, I married you to my bondservant." For what? My promise, with my promise of that mahar. That mahar of the woman is a promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I married you to this bondservant of mine based on this mahar, which was my promise, and you were not loyal to my promise. You weren't loyal to my promise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, be honest in your promises. Surely the promise is something that you shall be questioned about. Every type of promise, you'll be questioned about it. One of the reasons the divorce rate among Muslims is high is because of this dowry. This dowry, what do I mean? In some parts of the world, even here in the US, when it comes to the dowry, no, a woman has every right to ask for how much she wants. But there's some women, they want $1 million. They want jet skis for their brothers. They want a mansion for the father and mother. No, look at who you're marrying. Are you marrying for that? No. Islam says to marry to complete your faith. And because of this, what happens? A male, he'll just say yes without even thinking, can he afford this or no? He'll say yes. And Islamically, he's bound to give it once he says yes. Once he says yes. And if he doesn't, then that verse of the Quran, the people that do not keep their promises with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, he says, look, Ma khalaqallahu shay'an ala wajhin arzi ahabba min al-ataq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not created anything on this face of the earth that's more beloved to him than freeing a slave. And then the Holy Prophet, he goes, Wala khalaqa shay'an ala wajhin arzi abghazaha min at-talaq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not created on the face of this earth that is permissible, that he detests more than talaq, divorce. It's makruh, highly makruh, to the point where it almost becomes haram. But today it's taken very lightly. It's taken very lightly. There are only few instances where the Imam Ali Center, they use talaq. But if you were to look at Imam Hassan alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. If you were to look at the life of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, even though he knew his wife that was going to poison her, he doesn't divorce her. He doesn't. Very few times, very few instances, the Holy Prophet divorced one of his wives. Why? Because she was way too simple. Way too simple. Imam Muhammad Baqir Islam divorced one of his wives. Why? Because she showed outwardly Bughz Amir al-Mu'mineen. She showed outwardly Bughz Amir al-Mu'mineen. That's it. So that means what? That means that there comes a time when it becomes necessary for you to do divorce. Staying in that relationship is harming that relationship. There's no benefit in that relationship. So the only option is divorce. And that's the very last option. And when it comes to couples, Surah number 4 of the Quran, it says, if there appears to be discord between a wife and her husband, and if they desire reconciliation, then choose mediators. Choose mediators. It doesn't have to be a family member. It can be a psychologist. It can be a psychiatrist. It can be a therapist. It can be anyone. If after all of these avenues are exhausted and you cannot reconciliate, then the only thing left is divorce. But no, in this society, the first thing is divorce. That's it. It's over. And that too, when a divorce happens in this society, what happens? The female ends up taking half of the wealth of the male. Sometimes all of it, yes. Sometimes all of it. But tell me, is this fair? Islamically, is this fair? No. Islam is a just religion. Some of the sisters might be thinking, no, that is fair. But no, Islamically, when you think about it, a female is allowed to ask for what she wants in the beginning of the marriage. If she wants $1 million, she has every right to ask for it. If the husband says okay, then it becomes wajib for him to pay. So when she has that right to ask for however much she wants, is it fair then for her to take half of his wealth afterwards? No. How's that fair? This is why Islam is just. She can ask for what she wants in the beginning, but at the end, what belongs to the husband belongs to the husband. You pick up any book of fiqh, what belongs to the wife belongs to the wife. If the wife is working in a marriage, whatever money she makes belongs to her, that's it. Belongs to her. She doesn't need to spend it on the house. But it's wajib for the husband to spend the money that he makes on the family. He's the supporter. He's the one raising the family. Islam has given so many rights to women that women do not know their rights in Islam. In this country, in Islam, Islam gives the woman the right to ask for money if she was to breastfeed the child. They have that right. If they choose not to exercise that right, on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will compensate for that. But they have that right. Tell me, in this society, does a woman have that right? Can she ask to be compensated for that? No. They're her children. In Islam, the children belong to whom? The father. So if there is a divorce, they go with the father. Why? Because in Islam, it's wajib for the father to raise the kids. It's not wajib for the wife. So if they were to go with the wife and the wife doesn't have income, what will happen? This is why Islam says that no, it's wajib for the husband. Why? The husband is usually the bread maker. And when it comes to Islam, brothers and sisters, inshallah, I'm not taking too much time, I'm going to wrap up. When it comes to Islam, it becomes our duty not to look at the way people in this society are living their life as husband and wife. It becomes our duty to look at the way Amir al-Mu'mineen lived his life with his wife. It becomes our duty to look at the way the Holy Prophet lived his life with his wives. It becomes necessary for us to look at the way Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, Dakhl al-Bayt lived their lives. For the sisters, it becomes necessary for them to look at the way Lady Zahra salawatu alayha lived her life. Lady Khadija salawatu alayha lived her life. And I emphasize Lady Khadija. Why? Today, women, they want to work, no problem, they have that right. There was no greater businesswoman in all of Mecca and all of Arabia more successful than Lady Khadija salawatu alayha in her time. But look at the way she lived her life. Live your life the way she did. Live your life the way she did. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Ya Allah, bihaqqa Muhammad wa anta Mahmud. Bihaqqa Ali wa anta Ala. Bihaqqa Fatima wa anta Fatir samawat wal arz. Bihaqqa al-Hasan wa anta Muhsin. Bihaqqa al-Husayn wa anta Qadim al-San. Ya Allah, bihaqqa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. On this night, Ya Allah, please forgive our sins. Please forgive the sins of all the mu'mineen and mu'minat who are not able to be with us today. Please forgive the sins of all those marhumeen mu'mineen and mu'minat who do not have anyone to pray on their behalf. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. There is a birthday today of Sister Kulsum, and she is turning 7 years old, I believe it was. And there will be a cake today, so inshallah, please, I congratulate her on her 7th birthday. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give her prolonged life, and may she live, inshallah, to witness the zuhur of the last Imam of our time. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.